Baruch haba, let the Ruach HaKodesh lead you into all truth and show you things to come in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. Please like, subscribe, and share, and sign up for membership to get the calendar and Chai Eat Life and Fast.
Wait a minute. So you said 5 black men beat another man of the diaspora to death, and you told us not to watch the video because it would traumatize us. And most of us didn't because we're tired of this. And then everybody said that it was right. Everyone was in full agreement that this was a vicious crime and that all of the officers should be put in prison and lose their jobs. And so that's what happened. And then when people started watching the video, they found out that there were what now? 7 white officers.
And you're absolutely correct. And this is why I encourage everyone to watch the video. Because for 10 days from January 20th to January 30th, the narrative from the police department was, oh, it's just these 5 officers and the video is bad, so be careful. Just be mindful because the video is going to be bad, but it's just these 5. But when we watched the video, we clearly counted 12 officers that were involved. This is why it's important to watch the video. And I know it's hard, I know it's difficult, and I know it's rough. But if we trust them the entire time, we will never get the full story. That's why it's important for us to watch the video. Because if we just trust the narrative coming from the police, we'll never get the truth. Take Officer Preston, for example. In the police report, it said, oh, he tased him a few times. That's all Officer Preston did. He tased him and misfired his taser and then said we should stomp his ass. That's all he did. But when watching the video, you can clearly see Officer Preston jamming his gun into TYRENICHOLs' crotch over and over again. We can see that. We can see the other unnamed officer, officer number 7. We can see him run up on TYRENICHOLs and kick him in the face while he's handcuffed, face down in the dirt. We can see that. We can clearly see 12 first responders standing around not giving TYRENICHOLs the medical attention he needs. In the state of Tennessee, failure to render aid is a crime. And it gets crazier than that because we counted 12 people on the screen, right? And we know that 12 people have been relieved of duty in some capacity. But Lieutenant Whitaker of the fire department, she never got out of the truck. If she did, she would have been number 13 that we saw on the screen. Who's the other person? Who else are you hiding and protecting? And this is why it's important for us to watch. Us to watch, because they'll lie and skew information to save themselves. They do it every time. This is why we have to watch and hold them accountable. Because in the video, you can clearly see and hear the officers lying and getting their story straight. You got a group of officers on one side lying and getting their story straight while you got another officer going on over there taking pictures on his cell phone. We can see this, but none of that's in the police report. Why? Because they lied about it. They skewed the information to save their own asses. That's why we have to watch. We have to watch and hold them accountable because they won't hold themselves accountable until they can no longer do it. And even then, they still try to lie and skew information. So watch it and hold them accountable.
This is kind of true. Take a look at this. This is crazy.
Going on now is that cities across the United States of America are going into massive debt because of what they're calling police brutality bonds. LA didn't have enough to pay police brutality cases.
Right, so those are the judgments and settlements.
Right. So now they have to go to the financial markets and issue bonds worth $71 million. The people that issued the bonds made $18 million on the bonds. Mm-hmm. The taxpayers ended up paying for the whole thing. Right. I don't know what's going on in Chicago.
Well, Chicago had a lot of high-profile cases. They had $709 million in bonds. The interest paid on those bonds was $1 billion. So the taxpayers get the bill for 1.7.
It turns out that large banks, investment firms, Wall Street investment firms all play a part in issuing these bonds. These companies are making money off of police brutality. The first layer that's making money is insurance companies. Mm-hmm. But even bigger than that, now you have financial institutions that are making money off police brutality bonds. And now it makes more sense why nothing has changed in the last 50 years. If anything, it's gotten.
So everybody, even white people, were saying these men need to be jailed, lose their jobs, and even get the death penalty. So
Everybody is saying this. And so if this is exactly what they are saying, then all 12 of these officers, according to the word of all the Gentiles who said this, and of course our people, that is what they should get. And they won't have a word to say about this because it came from their own mouths, just like when Nathan said to David, "You are the man." That's what this whole setup is. You are the man.
A win is a win. I don't care what y'all say. A win's a win.